Okay, hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we have a special guest who's in a different aspect of computer science, and that is in the cybersecurity space. So our guest is gonna introduce himself. Yeah. So who do we have here?
First of all, my name is Sia. I go as Sia Cybersecurity. I've been in the cybersecurity space for around 3 years now, more in the defensive security operations side. And I also have a YouTube channel, Sia Cybersecurity, where I give information regarding cybersecurity and a bit of entertainment as well. Then I also run a community called Hacking Hub, in which I help people upskill and land jobs within cybersecurity. That's a bit about myself.
Oh, awesome, awesome there. And why cybersecurity, man? What happened? I heard that you were a
What
doctor at some
happened?
point, and then from there you were like, nah, I'm going for
Yeah,
cybersecurity.
I was doing economic sciences at Stellenbosch University, but like whilst I was there, I think I fell in love with like the tech side and the whole tech world.
Yeah,
In my free time I used to you know, look at web development courses and software development courses and just like trying to understand this whole world. But then my heart really fell in love with like cybersecurity,
right,
so I was like playing around with Kali Linux and these like Triacme labs and just learning about the whole IT space, networking and all of that. And then I landed the internship around 2023.
right.
And then from there I just, finished my internship, then I moved around in different companies, just upskilling and learning more about myself in cybersecurity, really.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, how strong is cybersecurity in the South African landscape currently?
I think now it's as strong as it's ever been. Well, I've been in the space for like a couple of years, but it's never been like it never used to be. I would say it never used to be like this. Like it's like almost every other person within tech, like at least they know about cybersecurity. It's very, very popular, very in demand. I think behind AI, I think it's like one of the most highest in demand, tech skills in tech and also in South Africa as well. So yeah, there's a very, very strong demand, and companies are, they're realizing the importance of cybersecurity, and they're also trying to bridge that gap of, um, finding talent and connecting them to like the right teams and organizations.
Okay, so awesome. So now, which industries do you think hiring the most? So, is it my banking, telecoms, consulting, government, etc.?
I would say I don't necessarily say I have insights, too much insights into this, but I would say banking. Banking has traditionally been the one that hires the most cybersecurity talent because of the nature of the industry. It's very important to cybersecurity is very important within that space, banking, fintech, etc. Then you can
Right,
also look at, maybe behind that you can look at, government or any other huge retail company or, top company anywhere. They usually take cybersecurity very seriously.
right. Now, are companies hiring, true level entry candidates or mostly experienced professionals? I'm asking this because there's a lot of guys who want to transition into the cybersecurity
Yeah,
space.
I can. So from what I've seen that a lot of the open roles or job postings, they're more tailored or they're more geared towards intermediate to senior level roles. Are there still true entry level roles? Yes. But the truth is that because it's entry level, like, you know, it's very, very, very competitive,
Mm,
right? You're competing with people from, first of all,
mhm.
from different IT backgrounds, different tech
Right,
backgrounds, people with computer science degrees, people with you know, without computer science degrees, but then they have certifications, they have
right.
projects, so now you have this whole camp, like three camps of people all competing for similar
Mm,
jobs. But like
right,
once you move up into like the more intermediate and senior level roles, there's more jobs there, but like you have more companies can trust you more because obviously you've shown that you're capable of doing the job, that you've
Right.
done it before, etc.
All right.
So yes, other entry-level jobs, yes, it's very competitive. Very, very, very competitive.
Mm, right. Okay, cool. So is there a skill shortage according to how you see? I mean, in the South African market.
Yeah, I'll definitely say so. Like working with so many companies and people trying to get into the space, I'll definitely say that there is a skill shortage. Um, I don't know whether I don't know who exactly to blame for the shortage. Is it the education system? Is it
Yeah.
universities? Is it, the certifications? Like there's a massive, there's a, there's a massive gap in what people are being taught
Yeah.
and what actually needs to be known when you enter a cybersecurity job. Um, and also there's just not enough talented people, really. Just not enough talented people. And also say on the other side is there like a job shortage. I don't
Mm,
just necessarily say there's a job shortage, but it's just because like maybe cybersecurity is still like a small or a
right.
niche tech domain. So it's not as
Right.
popular as software engineering or data science. So you're also competing for a smaller number of
Right.
job roles. Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody wants to get into the cybersecurity space, uh, what background is most helpful, for them to be able to enter into the
Mhm.
space?
I think any tech or IT background would be valuable. The most popular maybe would be a computer science degree from
Right.
any major institution. But even IT degrees would also work as well.
Right.
Anyone from any tech background would work. So whether you're coming from software engineering side, or IT support or
Right.
system admin side or cloud engineering side, you can definitely transition into cybersecurity. It's better to have some sort of tech background because cybersecurity is not really entry level. You need to have some sort of understanding of how like technology
Right.
works, whether your tech or networking or cloud or software. You need to have that sort of foundational knowledge before you move into a cyber role.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I realize that it's not actually easy to tap into this space as much as there's a lot of demand. Like you're saying, it's still um, sort of upcoming as well. But at the same time, it's not so easy to tap into other space, especially if you don't have a computer science degree. But if you have certifications, it looks like you have some sort of a chance. So according to your experience and the guys you work around with, do you think that people with just sets or people who just want to transition without any sets will succeed?
Yeah, this is gonna be a long answer.
Yeah.
So, so I think certifications are better than a degree. This is just my take.
Okay.
Um, but it depends on the certifications as well. Like in cybersecurity, there's like 10 million certifications, 10 million vendors. So when you
Right.
do these certifications, you need to be quite strategic. You can't just be doing any Mickey Mouse vendor cert
Right.
that no one knows about. You need to do something, that's, recognized, right?
Right.
So what is recognized? The most popular one would be the CompTIA Security Plus, right?
Awesome.
So CompTIA, they have their set of cybersecurity certifications, and then you also have other reputable institutions such as ISC2, right?
Mm.
ISC2, they most famous certification is the CISSP, which would be the gold standard for cybersecurity. Then there's, ISACA, then you got your
Right.
Microsoft cert, and then your AWS certs, right?
Right.
So can you get into cybersecurity? Can you do very well within cybersecurity just with certs? Definitely. I mean,
Mm.
um, I've just got certs. I don't have a degree. I've just got certs. Plenty of people that I know that just, specialize in cybersecurity just for certifications. What I
Awesome.
like about certifications is that first of all, uh, they're mostly cost effective. There are some expensive certifications, but they're
Mm.
mostly cost effective. Number two, they teach you the skills and knowledge that is directly applicable to the
Right.
work or technologies that you'll be working with, right? So
Right.
certifications are king, man. Certifications are king.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think you already named CompTIA. So if somebody wants to start with the certification journey, where should they start?
So I would say for cybersecurity now, where should they start? Let's just
Yeah.
assume that they already have some sort of IT foundational knowledge, right? The
Mhm.
first certification that you should get, put all your money, go into debt if you need to. I'm joking, but like you need to. It actually is that important. You need to get the Security Plus. What I
Right.
like about Security Plus that it covers all the general cybersecurity topics, right? It's very broad, very generalized cybersecurity knowledge. And then
Right.
after that, I always say now this is where you need to be a bit more strategic. Like I said, you need to know where within cybersecurity do you want to specialize within. Do
Right.
not be that guy that tries to do everything all at once, right? We
Mm.
have so many domains within cybersecurity. You mentioned penetration testing, then
Right.
there's the SOC, then there's cloud security, then there's application security, there's digital forensics, there's
Mm.
GRC, there's a whole lot of domains within cybersecurity. Your
Right.
your your next step after, gathering that basic cybersecurity foundational knowledge is to specialize, right? So for example, if you want to specialize in IAM, maybe you need to go and do something like the SC300, right? Microsoft
Right.
Identity and Access Management. I think that's what it's called. Or if you want to be a penetration tester, maybe you need to look at something like the EJPT, which is the Junior Penetration Tester certification. If you want to
Right.
be within this, you need to look at something like the SC200, which is the Microsoft Azure Security Operations certificate, right? Or you might need to look
Right.
at um, whatever specific, what's another one that I can give? Maybe the Blue Team Level 1, which is also a SOC certification, right? You need to pick your domain, and go deep down within it.
Awesome. 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 Yeah. So I think you've already answered this question. I wanted to ask you, if these certifications are expensive, or
Yeah.
are expensive certifications worth it for one's career?
It depends. It depends, man. Like it
Right.
depends. Some of these certifications, they're very expensive, but they don't bring a high return on investment. Um, what would you classify as expensive? Above 5K, above 10K? For me, anything
Yeah.
below 10K is not expensive. Once you go up,
Right.
once your certification start costing above 10K, then maybe you can start classifying it as expensive. For example, how much is the CISSP? Maybe like 18, 20K, but it's a
Right.
very like industry recognized
Oh,
certification.
that's
Uh,
quite expensive.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah. What else is there that's quite expensive? Maybe another IC2 certification, right? But for myself, I have the mindset that, I'm not really too worried about the price. I'm more
Okay.
worried about like what is the return on the
Yeah.
investment? Like, will
Right.
this bring me more recognition? Will this teach me the skills, give me more knowledge, right? But at the
Right.
entry level, I would say, um, because when you first breaking into the industry, like most people, they do not have that type of money to spend 20K on a certification.
Right.
So you need to again look at the return on investment. Like
Right.
if I have 5,000 rands or 6,000 rands laying around, what can I do that'll give me the best chances of breaking into the industry? For example, the Security Plus. I mean, I'm
Right.
pushing the Security Plus as if they're sponsoring me. They're not, but like that's just that's just
Yeah.
what I would do, right? And then if you don't
Right.
have 6K to do, okay, cool, maybe you have 3K. What can I do if I only have 3K but I want to learn cybersecurity?
Right.
Microsoft Azure certs are quite cost effective. I think you can get them for around 800 Rand. And if you
Right.
attend some of their classes, you can get discounts for 50%, which is 400 Rand.
Mm.
Then now you can work around that and say, okay, I have 3K to spend on certifications. What, how can I use this 3K to, and again, upskill myself within cybersecurity? Maybe you can get the AZ900 and AC900, AC200, for example. Those are three recognized certs from Microsoft,
Sure.
right? And then if you have no money at all, what are free courses that will teach me again the knowledge and the information and the skills that can help help me elevate within the space. There's free courses from Cisco Networking Academy.
Okay.
Yeah.